Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for attending this press conference. We are here today to address the concerns and impact of a county ordinance that was drafted without the support, recommendation, or approval from Bergen County Executive Kathleen Donovan that would immediately dissolve the Bergen County Police Department and transfer some of its duties and functions to a political, constitutional office. I have spent the last few months traveling throughout the county at scheduled listening tours with some of the current county freeholders addressing questions about the essential police services that the Bergen County Police Department has been providing for the past 95 years. These essential police services extend to state and federal law enforcement agencies when conducting certain police operations within Bergen County. As a force multiplier, time and time again, the Bergen County Police Department has been tasked with assisting in local police operations while the local police agency dealt with internal emergencies. Our low-key presence in special operations services is a specific purpose for the local law enforcement agency that calls upon us. We do not serve the residents of Bergen County for accolades, pictures in the newspapers, or worries of politics. We serve our residents because the Bergen County Police Department is public safety. We are the invisible heroes, and we are trying to shed light on our special services now because public safety is at risk. This proposed county ordinance is a politically motivated measure to increase the scope of a constitutional office and has produced no plan of cost savings or improved efficiency to the taxpayers of Bergen County. It has been stated publicly by many law enforcement professionals that of both current and retired personnel that this proposed ordinance will have a negative and disastrous effect to the specialized police services provided to the residents and taxpayers of Bergen County. It would be a disservice to the residents if any reorganization or dissolution were to reduce the quality of service. Some of the professional law enforcement entities against this ordinance are the Bergen County Police Chiefs Association, representing all municipal police chiefs in Bergen County, the Bergen County PBA Conference, representing the 3,000 law enforcement officers in Bergen County, the New Jersey State PBA President, Tony Wieners, the Latino Leadership Alliance of New Jersey, New Jersey Latino Peace Officers Association. I would like to welcome here today four amongst the most respected, bipartisan law enforcement professionals and leaders in Bergen County history to share their opinion publicly on the proposed ordinance that would immediately dissolve the Bergen County Police Department and transfer some of its functions to the office of the sheriff. Please assist me in welcoming former Bergen County Executive, Mr. William Pat Schuber. Thank you, sir.
Vinny, thank you very much. And it's great to be back and see so many old friends. I am delighted to lend my support to the professional men and women of the Bergen County Police Department in maintaining their independence. And I do that with a great deal of understanding of the issue and a great deal of experience with regard to have dealt with the issue myself. And it comes from the 12 years I served as county executive back from 1990 to 2002. In the early stage of that, as I took office in 1991, we authorized a series of transition committees to look at various issues that I would be dealing with over the next of that first term. One of those was the issue of the future of the Bergen County Police Department. Among the issues we discussed and looked at was the issue of whether we could provide for a county-wide police department that would take in everybody into one county police department like Nassau and Suffolk County on Long Island, our sister counties out there. But having studied that among other issues, and having examined that report, it became clear to me that the importance of first of all, the concept of consolidating all of those into one super police department for the county of Bergen would have been hugely expensive. And the economic problems of Nassau that are still there today would bear that out as having been the right decision. But as a result of that study, it became clear to me also that the Bergen County Police Department is a freestanding professional body of men and women operating as a police department of the county of Bergen, doing the services that it does and does well, was the important way to go. Because in the end, I firmly believed and still believe that the purpose further on in the future for the Bergen County Police Department along those ways, which has been borne out, was that as we talk about regional services, if you think about it, the original regional service provider has been the Bergen County Police Department, providing a series of specialized teams to the communities, which would cost them in large numbers of money to maintain, whether it be hostage negotiation, bomb squad, dog squad, or whatever with regard to that. It is a regional provider of service as a result of what it's done. And their actions, which seem to go by the wayside here in this debate that's taken place, seem to be forgotten. But I didn't forget them. I can certainly remember in that first year I was in office, the hostage situation in Ridgewood at the post office. I don't know if you remember that one. The county police were very actively involved with the Ridgewood Police Department, among others, in bringing that to a final conclusion, the tragedy that it was. After that time, I can remember being in the Emergency Management Center, I think with Dwayne Rossetti, and I saw him back there, listening on the radio during the height of the storm of Hurricane Floyd, listening to some of these guys back here on boats, rescuing people. And then there was 2011, 9/11, 9/11, and what happened there, and the support that was given to rescuers there by the Bergen County Police Department. These represent to me the true degree of the professionalism of this department, and why I am so sorry to see that it is caught in the middle of this particular battle. And I'm here to really reassert my opinion that has not changed of the importance of keeping them as an independent part of the county government of the county of Bergen. The concept of maintaining that, I think, is essential for law enforcement here in Bergen County. I know this has been studied. I know there have been other committees with regard to it, but the last one I saw, which was headed by Fletch Kramer, who I have a great deal of respect for, and had a series of other people like Bill Meehan, who I have respect for, had reached the same conclusion, and so do I. So I'm here to lend my support for this very, very important endeavor.
Please help me to welcome former Bergen County Prosecutor, Mr. Jay Fahy.
Thank you, Vinny. I'll be brief, and I don't want to echo too much of what Pat Schuber has, but this is a battle that we've gone through before. I know when Pat first got into office, I had started a few months before him. It was something that we sat down, we talked about. If you look at it from a common sense perspective, there's some allure to consolidation and putting different groups of law enforcement together. But if you start to look more deeply, especially the lessons of Suffolk County and the lessons of Nassau County, what happened when one department took over the entire county, cost went up many-fold more than it would with individual departments. There's a question as to whether or not the sheriff should be the appropriate agency to take over for the county police. And I want to say this about Mike Sordino. We're lucky in the fact that he is a professional, he has law enforcement experience, and he knows law enforcement. But what scares me as former prosecutor is that in the future we could end up with someone in the sheriff's department, a constitutional officer, who does not have any law enforcement background at all. And if that were to happen, we could then end up with a sheriff that doesn't perhaps want to send his canine unit to a particular town because of a political battle, or doesn't want to send the sniper team to a particular town, or doesn't want to send extra patrols to a particular town. And once you get onto that slippery slope of having an elected official in charge of law enforcement, we get into what I believe is a very dangerous situation. What I'm most impressed about with the county police is that people don't get promotions there because of politics. It's a civil service department. It's a very tough test to get into the department. It is without doubt the best department that we have in Bergen County. There are many towns that have good departments, and I'm not taking away from that, but the specialized training that all of the people on the county police have is just extraordinary. It would be a shame if we were to give that up and send it into an outfit that is more politically based, although also with the portion of it that is law enforcement. I've had a lot of experiences, and Pat has also, with hostage situations, one on Route 46. He talked about the Harris case with the Ridgewood Post Office. There have been times where we've had to get basically patrol. I want to talk about patrol for a second. The prosecutor's office, during my tenure and I think afterwards, has kind of viewed the county police department as kind of their separate patrol division when an emergency situation comes up. So if we had to do, if there was a strike that was going on, if there was an arrest that was going to be particularly dangerous, we would have, of course, the investigators from the prosecutor's office there, but we would also have backup from the county police. And that's because we trusted them, we trained with them, they ran the police academy, and again, they're the best department that we can have. So without further ado, I'm here today, and I'm honored to be here to just lend my support to them. But I know Vincent is going to introduce the next speaker, but I can't say enough about Joel Trella. He was not only the head of the county police, he was also a sheriff at a point in time, and he was also an elected official in his town at a point in time. So if anyone understands law enforcement in this room, it's Joel Trella. But thank you for your attention, and again, I'm proud to be here to stand up for the county police.
We had also invited former Bergen County Prosecutor William Schmidt. He will not be able to attend, but is lending his support and will be issuing a statement. I believe a statement has been circulated to the press today. At this time, I'd like to welcome former Bergen County Police Chief and also former Bergen County Police Sheriff, Joel Trella.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Joel Trella. I'm the retired Chief of Police of the Bergen County Police Department and former Sheriff of Bergen County. I did not support a merger of the County Police Department into the Sheriff's Department when I was the police chief. I didn't support it when I was the sheriff, and I don't support it now. And I'll tell you why. Bergen County Police Department is a highly trained, highly mobile group of men and women who change activities throughout the day at a moment's notice. No municipal police department can duplicate this for a variety of reasons. Number one, the local police role to provide patrol and investigative services at the local level does not allow morphing into different activities. What most people don't understand is that most of the roles that are carried out by the county police department are carried out not on a daily basis, but on an as-needed basis. So what that means, most of the people who are on patrol are also cross-trained as medical examiner investigators, as canine handlers, as bomb technicians, as hostage negotiators, and a variety of other tasks. So when called upon, when the emergency presents itself, those people morph into another role. Now, look at the number of people that you would need to provide to do these services if they were just assigned that role. It would be impossible. You would need a 400-man county police department. But with 90 men and women, they make this work, and they make it work well. Some people have said, well, we don't need the county police, they're redundant. I'm here to tell you, that's nonsense. They are not redundant. The services provided by the county police are irreplaceable. They cannot be replaced. Anybody watch the Ravens game last night? When you're putting in officials that are new at it, okay? Do you want those people doing the hostage negotiation or the SWAT team? I don't think so. The people that do this on a daily basis and have done it for 40-plus years, they know what they're doing. They're good at what they do. They're dedicated. This argument of saving money is a non-argument. These services have to be provided. These are public services. These are not redundant services. When you call for the bomb squad, you need somebody to show up. When you call for the SWAT team, you would hope that they have a long history and a professional background of making things come out right. Pat Schuber talked about the Ridgewood Post Office job. I remember it well. I was the police chief for 6 days when that occurred. And Mr. Harris came to the Ridgewood Post Office to die. And what had happened is that our hostage negotiator was able to talk Mr. Harris out of that mindset. I don't know how he did it, but he did it. And that's not the only issue. It happens routinely, but it happens very quietly. Because the county police department has never looked for the accolades. They've done the job, and they've gone home, and they've come back the next day to do it again. And I would urge anybody that's thinking along a different line to disband the county police department to rethink their position, to rethink that concept, and to really see that it's not the smart thing to do and it's not the right thing to do. And it's certainly not going to save any money. So thank you for your time and thank you for being here.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our press conference today. Thank you all for coming out. Thank you for our guest speakers here today. Have a nice day. I could take a few questions.
For any of these gentlemen, given what you just said, why do you think this is such a recurring issue? I mean, I've read stories from people from 1993 who say that you were often back then. It keeps coming up. And again, why the lasting power of that?
I mean, from my perspective, I think the issue is always one, probably of an economic one. Government goes through its ups and downs of its revenues, et cetera. There's always an attempt to look for savings periodically in different places. This always comes up as one of those. And I think the fact that it's come up and that it never goes through is an example of the recognition of the officials at the time that it wasn't the right thing to do as a cost-saving measure, if that's what it is. And I think that's the same thing here. I've seen no thing in any of these plans that gives me any concept that any savings here or any practical savings here that would make any difference.
I just briefly, I did look into it back in 1993 because I thought the common sense, a non-law enforcement person looking at it, and even a common sense perspective of looking at it is, if you got many, many departments, Bergen County 70 plus the sheriff, plus the county police, there has to be room to put departments together and we can save money. I ended up getting a group together, someone from Pat Schuber's office, from the county police, from the sheriff's department, from the Chiefs Association, and the more we looked into it, the more it was obvious to us that it was going to end up costing more, and you were going to end up losing kind of control of your local police department. I know Joe and I were talking, and Pat, about this a little bit beforehand. Do you want to talk about local police and the importance of community policing from town perspective?
Back in the 80s, I did a term as a local councilman, which gave me an opportunity to look at how people at the local level and local officials feel about their local police departments, and that identity and their need to have a police department that's responsive to their needs. Becoming the Bergen County Police Chief, I felt that the role of the local police departments were paramount, and that the county police department was the perfect venue to do a shared service provider scenario, and it would just mimic what county government is supposed to do in New Jersey, to provide things that are too expensive and too intermittent that cannot be provided at the local level. So when we would bring services in, we would leave as soon as we were done. We weren't like the bad brother-in-law who didn't want to go home. We'd want to come in, do the job, and then leave to do the job someplace else. The taxpayer gets the best bang for the buck by still having that. And I believe that by having a county police department that actually mirrors what the role of county government does and is supposed to be, is the most cost-effective way to provide the service. The county police chief, and I could say this because I was in both roles, the county police chief is an employee. And the county executive will say, you know, we can't spend the money on this, and because the freeholders won't fund it. And the police chief has to say, okay, I'm not happy about that, but I get that. I was also the sheriff. And when the sheriff comes in and he has a budget item and people say, we don't think we can fund that, and the sheriff responds by saying one of two things. Okay, I get that, or I'll see you in court. Police chief doesn't have that ability. So when it comes to cost containment, the best arrangement that you have is what you have currently, not what some people would propose. So from a cost-saving scenario, moving from one place to another, in my experience, is not beneficial. Thank you.
Well, I'm not here to kind of to parse the philosophy of that, because I don't know, we could argue about that all day long. But let me say this about it, though, and that's simply this, that just, and this is something that political leaders often get pulled into, and that is making paper changes that look great on organization charts, but have no real effect in the end, or even are more costly in the end. And I think that's what this really represents. So if the idea that we're talking about today, and as a taxpayer I agree, that we have to try to keep our costs down of government, and that's a very essential thing for us, particularly here in Bergen County, then the idea of maintaining the county police as an independent entity is essential, because of the argument that all of us have made here today, and I've made many years and many times over the past, and that simply is this, that the county police, as a professional body of police officers, men and women, is a regional provider of services for which the lack thereof, having to be taken up by some other organization, such as the local police departments having to police the county parks, of which there are, 26? and the county roads, of which there are like 300, hundreds of miles and bridges, et cetera, then that cost has to be added onto the burden of the taxpayer at the local level, which would increase it, I would argue, exponentially, as opposed to what you have now, providing that regional service, which is actually, in many ways, doing that more with less. So that would be my argument. I firmly believed it then. I firmly believe it now.
Gentlemen, if that's the case, why aren't there more county police departments?
Well, let me answer that. There's been a lot of disinformation on this, and this is one of the things that's really bugged me. 21 counties in New Jersey, 19 don't have county police departments. Well, the fact of the matter is, when the enabling statute was written to allow for county police departments, there were only 4 counties in the state of New Jersey that qualified. They were Hudson, Essex, Bergen, and Union. What had happened is that the role of the Hudson County Police Department was a traffic role, and therefore it was redundant when Hudson County had their own large-scale police departments. Some of the duties that are provided by the Bergen County Police Department are provided in Hudson County by the Jersey City Police Department, the bomb squad, hostage negotiation, and things like that. In other counties, like Union, the Union County Sheriff is not in charge of the jail. The jail is run by a county corrections arrangement. And the county police department, matter of fact, investigate issues at the jail. So they have a different role in a different county. Those counties that have large police departments, large municipal police departments, as the case in Essex County, they have all of the services that need to be provided, and because they're a contiguous municipality, you can lend those services, okay? In Bergen County, we have 70 municipalities in a suburban setting with no major cities, no major police departments, and it's my belief that the largest police department we have at the local level is about 105 or 110 police officers, all right? So therefore, you don't have self-standing bomb squads. You don't have a self-standing hostage unit. So those things don't exist here in Bergen County. So you can't take what goes on in Bergen County and say, well, you know, they did it here, and what's the big deal? Well, the big deal is that the form of municipalities and how this county operates is vastly different because we have 68 municipal police departments. So to answer the question on why don't we have a lot of county police departments, well, the county police departments in Hudson County and Essex County have gone away. The county police department in Bergen County and Union County are still here and providing services every day. And the reason that we're here, make no bones about this, the reason that we're here is because we're good at it, we're cost effective, and we get it done. If this police department didn't get it done, it wouldn't be here. No one would call you. You don't get this kind of experience in a short period of time. It cannot be duplicated in a short uptake. That's not going to happen. These activities that have been provided at the county police level have been honed over 40 years. Over 40 years. If you look at the police canine unit in the county police department, it started in 1975. It has probably done 25,000 jobs and has arrested people for everything from homicide to burglary and beyond. And all of those arrests that are made by the county police department are not charged by the county police department. They're charged at the local level because the role of the county police is to come in and help, get it done, and go home. So there is no fanfare on all of these activities that are done at the county level. And being a former sheriff, in order to be a sheriff, you have to court the media. That's part of the process as an elected official. So moving all of those activities into an elected official's domain, now we have to do what? We have to highlight those activities because it gets my name in the paper. Well, at the County Police Department, that's not part of the process. Part of the process is get it done and get out of there. Now, any matters that were significant matters of prosecution, we would never issue a press release. Those press releases were done by the prosecutor himself, which has been sometimes a problem in the past. Am I correct, Mr. Prosecutor?
Yes, it has.
Okay? So those things with the County Police Department are not a problem. That's a problem that doesn't exist. So I know I digress on this county police thing, but to be right to the point, there were only 4 county police departments ever in the state of New Jersey. There were a number of county park police departments which are not the same. They did not have to adhere to the statute. The statute required that you had to have 250,000 people at that time to be a county of the first class. And the county police departments that exist today exist by need. By need.